Hello, we begin with breaking news at this hour. Explosions have been reported in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, and the port city of Hodeidah. US officials say American and British troops have launched strikes against targets linked to the Houthis there. It is the first time strikes have been carried out against the Iran-backed group since it started attacking ships in the Red Sea late last year. The Houthis claim they're only targeting ships linked to Israel in response to the war on Gaza. Before the strikes, the group's leader vowed to respond to any so-called aggression.
We
will not hesitate to do everything we can, and we will confront the American aggression. Any American aggression will never remain without a response, and the response will not only be at the level of the recent operation that targeted Americans at sea with more than 24 drones and several missiles. The response will be greater than that, and more than that. And with that, we are more determined to continue and target ships linked to Israel. We will not back down from that, and our position stems from our faith. The Americans should know what that means.
Well, we've got correspondents covering this on both sides of the Atlantic. Willem Marx is in London tonight, but first, let's cross to Washington, D.C. and speak to Shihab Rattansi. So, Shihab, any comment from the U.S. on this?
No comment. As far as we can see, as yet, the position of the administration has been the same for a week now. There will be consequences for the Houthis if they continue to attack shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. It was repeated by Antony Blinken during his tour of the region on Wednesday. We understand that Congress was briefed earlier today, Thursday, here in the United States. But the interesting thing is that the White House press pool was told to go home just about an hour ago, which is quite interesting, because that would suggest that then we're not going to have any official statements from Joe Biden as he launches another war, or he gets involved in another war in the region. He starts bombing Yemen. Remember, Joe Biden, he was the candidate who said he was going to end endless wars, specifically in the Middle East, specifically in Yemen, actually. That was a major part of his campaign, was to stop the war in Yemen. But now he, again, like the two presidents before him, is bombing Yemen, or at least involved in the bombing of Yemen. And clearly then he's not terribly keen on facing the cameras, it would appear, tonight.
And what they said earlier, I mean, how are they at this point separating this from the defensive Prosperity Guardian mission, which is what the mission that they've been carrying out for several weeks now to repel the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea?
It was really striking how the Pentagon spokesperson, when asked about all the rumors that were circulating about the imminence of U.S. strikes on Yemen, how his main concern seemed to be to separate any U.S. military action on Yemen from Operation Prosperity Guardian. Operation Prosperity Guardian is this attempt by the U.S. to get a coalition together to patrol the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, and it's been doing really badly. Key allies have said, no, we're not going to take part, or if we do patrol, we'll do it by ourselves. And part of that was because there was a suspicion that if there was some international coalition in the area, it would be used as some sort of fig leaf for a U.S. escalation in the region, even as the Biden administration says it doesn't. That's the one thing it doesn't want, is to accelerate the conflict further from Gaza and the West Bank's borders. So this is kind of the reason why so many allies seem to say, no, we don't want to be a part of this. And so what the Pentagon spokesperson said was, look, if there is any offensive action taken on Yemen, it's purely the sovereign decision of individual nations. It has nothing to do with Prosperity Guardian. That's purely defensive. It's like the highway patrol. So don't get that confused. And I can see that the Pentagon was rather concerned there, because not only will this action potentially deter further cooperation with the U.S. in the region, because other countries do not want to be part of a wider regional war, but it might even make some drop out.
All right, for the moment, Shihab, thanks very much. Shihab Rattansi live for us in Washington.